All righty. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Wednesday, September 9th, 2020 meeting of the East Long Meadow Conservation Commission. At this time, I need to ask if anyone in the viewing audience is recording this meeting. If so, please raise your hand and identify yourself. And Jamie, let me know if we're okay.
Yep, no hands.
All righty. Moving forward. First item on the agenda was the approval of the June 24th, 2020 executive session minutes. I went through those. I had no issues with them. Anybody have any comments or changes for those?
No, they look good.
Same here.
All right, I'll entertain a motion for the approval of the June 24th, 2020 executive session minutes.
So moved.
Second.
We need to do a roll call vote. Tom,
Aye.
Francis? Your mic is off, Francis.
Yes.
Okay. Jeff?
Yes.
And I am a yes also. The next item would be release of these executive session minutes. I have no issues with releasing them and putting them out there to the public at this point. So I'll entertain a motion to release the June 24th executive session minutes.
So moved.
Seconded.
Roll call vote again. Tom,
Aye.
Francis,
Yes.
Jeff,
Aye.
and I'm an aye also. Next item on the agenda was the approval of the August 26, 2020 minutes. I was pretty much all set with those also. I think that somebody did send in a change that I saw though. But no, that might have been something else. But so
I move to accept.
Second.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the August 26, 2020 minutes.
I move to accept.
Is there a second?
Aye. Or second. I thought it already got. He already moved it. I seconded it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if you didn't hear me.
I could have missed it.
I thought you were going to do a roll call vote.
Yep. Tom? Yeah.
Aye.
Yes. Francis?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
And I am an aye also. Next item on the agenda was a request for a certificate of compliance for 34 Erica Circle. This one came in a little bit late. I think it was Thursday or Friday when we got it. I spent some time and read through it last night and today.
Click the Add to Chrome button, then click Add Extension to continue.
And there was an amended order of conditions done, and then that was accepted in 2012. But this is cleaning up the old one. I think that was from 5 or 6 years before that, it seemed like. But at this point, it's one of those ones, I guess we just need to move on. I don't necessarily think that there's a letter from a surveyor or something that's required at this point, because the second one was put some more conditions on it than there were on the first order of conditions from what I saw. And I don't know if anybody else has any comments on it.
Yeah, I looked pretty much through it, and basically, I think we just have to move forward with it.
Okay. I will entertain a motion to approve the request for certificate of compliance for 38 Erica Circle.
So moved.
Second.
All righty. Roll call vote. Tom?
Aye.
Francis?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
And I am an aye vote also. The next item on our agenda this evening is a request for determination of applicability for Maple Court. Janie, perhaps the applicant is in the audience and would like to speak regarding this matter. It would be somebody from Columbia Gas. There we go.
Hi, good evening. This is Dana Altabello from Merrill Engineers and Land Surveyors.
Good evening.
Oh, there it is. Sorry. I can just give you a quick overview if that works.
Yes.
Okay. I'm here, as I mentioned, I'm Dana Altabello from Merrill Engineers and Land Surveyors. I'm here representing Columbia Gas of Massachusetts. This RDA is for the proposed installation of anodes off of Maple Court. The anodes will be connected to an existing rectifier, which is on site, and they'll provide cathodic protection for an existing bare steel gas main. This is just necessary to inhibit any corrosion on the buried line. The anodes analytically decompose while the gas main remains free of damage. So basically, it allows the ground to eat at the anodes as opposed to the gas line. In total, approximately 150 linear feet of wire cable will be installed, along with approximately 10 3-inch anodes, which will be a mixed metal oxide. All of the work will be done within existing paved parking areas, along their shoulders, or within maintained lawn areas. Existing cable currently runs from the rectifier pole to the existing gas main. Proposed cable will be connected from the rectifier over to the anodes, which will be inserted along the edge of the parking area. The rods will be installed with a drilling rig using a hollow auger, which will drill down to a depth of approximately 30 feet. This work will take place within the 100-foot buffer zone. The wetland resource areas were reviewed by Brad Holmes of Environmental Consulting and Restoration in August of 2020. The wire installation itself will be done using the open trench method. This involves the contractor only opening the length of trench that can be installed and backfilled in one day. No open trench or stockpiles will be left overnight within the buffer zones. Prior to construction, erosion controls will be installed at the limit of work, and no work will be done during rain events. And additionally, filter fabric will be placed beneath any catch basins that are within the project area. Since the work will be done during dry weather and within paved roadways or along their shoulders, with erosion controls installed at the limit of work and trenches backfilled at the end of each workday, there should be no impacts to the wetland resource areas. I think that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Just have one question. How big are the holes that are being drilled? What's the diameter? Just curiosity.
I think it's probably somewhere in the 6 to 8 inch range. It's a hollow auger, so it's big enough to have a 3-inch hole in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And then they'll put them down and they'll just backfill with the existing material. They won't bring anything new on site.
Anybody else have any questions? No. I do not either. It seemed pretty straightforward to me. Therefore, I will entertain again, we have the option to go with the -2, if we would like, or the -3, where we can put some conditions on. I think maybe the -3 would be better than just ask for the erosion controls to be installed as required on the job site. So I will entertain a motion for a -3 determination with the following condition of erosion controls being installed as required.
So moved.
Second. Sorry, Francis. Do you want to second that?
No, go ahead. I don't mind. It goes through.
Yep. Any further discussion? Okay, roll call vote. Francis,
Aye.
Tom,
Aye.
Jeffrey,
Aye.
and I am an aye also. Thank you for filing the RDA, Dana, and good luck with the project.
All right, thank you very much. You guys have a great evening.
All right.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Next on our list is project monitoring. We've got a few items here to discuss. The first one that's on the agenda is 79 Old Farm Road. My only concerned about that, from the information that we have so far, is I'm just plain, and frankly, I'm not 100% sure that this is a non-jurisdictional lot. I don't know if anybody else has any concerns about that, or because then where we are is after we looked at this, there was an email that came out from Bethany, and the person that's doing the work out there with this large retaining wall, a question was forwarded to the building inspector after our last meeting, and the homeowner did not apply for a building permit for that. And so Kevin was waiting to hear from us, to see if it was jurisdictional before he went ahead with his permitting process.
You cut out, there was some kind of background. We couldn't hear you.
And what I said was after our last meeting, an email was sent to Kevin regarding a permit for this, and there was no permit taken out for this large retaining wall that has been installed there. And he was waiting to hear back from us to see if it was jurisdictional or was not. And right now, I'm just not 100% sure if it is or isn't, based on the information that we've received on it.
Do we need to do a site visit out there?
It wouldn't hurt, but I think the biggest thing that I'd like to see is, can we get this plan that we were asking for to see this lot, and if there is permanent limit of work markers on it, and if it is or is not jurisdictional.
So I have the plan. It is a full-size plan, and it's our only one. So I took pictures of it and I sent it out to the commission, I believe, or I sent it to Craig. Let me just check my email. Yeah, I sent it out to the commission on last Wednesday. So I'm not sure how else we can handle this. If it's our only plan, I'm very hesitant to hand it out in case it's needed in future situations.
Yeah.
I'm open to suggestions, though.
Well, there is a plotter in the DPW office which can be used to make a copy of that.
There is a plotter. My only concern is that since it's an old plan, it may not go through the plotter very well. It's not as flexible as a newer plan might be.
79's on the coming up from Pease.
79, it's between lot 53, where we had the issue with the certificate of compliance, and 101, where we had the restoration done. It's pretty much right between them. And both of those are definitely jurisdictional lots, which is why it concerns me that this one might not be.
Wait, I thought
The assumptions
79.
were right there.
I thought
This is-
79 was on the inside. It's on the outside of the. When you come up from Pease, it's on the.
It's on the
left.
right side. No, it's on the right side. It's just a few houses up from 53.
You know, I must have looked. I thought I looked at it on GPS or on Google Earth, and oh, perhaps I looked at the wrong lot.
Yes, Francis.
Yeah, I have a question. Bethany, you said you sent that to us before the last, or on Wednesday. What date was that?
That was,
I don't see it.
September 2nd.
September 2nd.
Here, I'll send it out.
So, I mean, if we can see it, that would be fine, but oh, here it is, September 1st, I think. Okay, let me see. Oh, yeah, it's very hard to see,
Right.
but
It is
you
lot
can enlarge it. You
51.
can enlarge it.
Right.
Craig, do you have that? It's on September 1st.
I'm not sure about trying to look at it right now. I haven't done
Oh.
that yet with the Zoom meeting thing.
Oh, I have it. Okay. I have it on my screen, but
And I guess, do we know if it was listed in the order of conditions as a jurisdictional lot?
That I couldn't find clarification on whether or not it was listed. I don't see it anywhere near the wetlands marker based on this plan we have here.
yeah. 79.
Or Francis, if you want to share your screen, maybe we can pull it up and that way everyone can take a look at it.
Yeah, I don't see a 79 here.
It would be under lot 21.
Oh, I only see 42. 36. I don't know. It won't, even when it enlarges, it doesn't show you more. So I can share it, but I don't think it's going to help. For some reason, it's cut off. But okay,
What's
do you want me to
date?
share it?
Actually, Jamie, if you could share my screen, I can pull it up.
Good.
I don't know if that lot's jurisdictional.
You should be able to do it now.
Okay, can you guys see this?
No.
I'm not seeing anything.
It's not being shared. No.
What's the date on this original plan?
I can't see that on the email.
Oh, maybe my settings have blocked this. Okay.
Now, what bothers me is I can't.
All right, I don't think my computer settings will let me share the screen.
Can we get the order of conditions for this project?
Sure. I'm trying to think if I think it's the original one, just like 53 Old Farm, and I didn't see them call out any specific lots. But I'll definitely check again and see if I can find anything. Jeff, this is dated November 6th, 1986.
Oh, wow, this goes way back.
Yeah. And it looks almost hand-drawn too, so that's my concern with putting it through the plotter, is if it rips, it seems fairly delicate.
And so I guess there's my dilemma. I'm concerned about saying it's non-jurisdictional when it possibly is. And like I said, from what I had seen before, and maybe I'm just assuming, but if 101 is jurisdictional and 53 is jurisdictional, how can this one not be?
Yeah, because it's right in, it's only like three, I think it's only like 3 houses up from 53.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a funky lot. It's almost triangular in shape.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'll have it in 1 second.
Oh, yeah, I see it. It's marked 21, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
if
I
you
see
zoom out, you can see the wetlands markers
Right.
aren't on that lot.
Yeah, it looks like it's far enough away from the wetlands, right?
Everything in that development had a 50-foot limit of work line.
Although when you
Yeah,
look,
that was for the encompass for the development, but a lot of those houses, they're non-jurisdictional.
but because it's sort of triangular down in our left corner, it's pretty close. It depends where they're doing what they're doing.
Okay, if you look on lot 17,
I can't see it. It's not in this one.
you'll have to look at the first one.
I only got one. There's only one picture.
There's 3 pictures or 4 pictures in that grouping.
In the email?
Yeah.
Oh. I'll try to find it. Oh, okay. So look in which one?
If you're looking at lot 17, you'll see a limit of wetlands. You'll see a large dotted line there. Then going through lot 18, you'll see a very fine dotted line. And then just inside that, you'll see look like a bunch of rectangular boxes that right by the actual 18, which says sediment barrier.
Yeah,
So I don't know if that small dotted line, because there's no legend that I can read, is the buffer zone.
But that's down at 17, you said.
Well, the
18.
buffer zone line goes through 18 up to just about where the junction of 18 and 20 are, but I don't see anything beyond that.
there's nothing in 21. Oh, wait a minute. Boy, it's hard to see.
So it may be that those lots 20 and 21 are outside of the buffer zone.
It's what it looks like to me too.
But you'd have to look at the order of conditions and see what lots are included in that.
I agree. So, I mean, this is just under the project monitoring, so I guess we need to hold off on this still.
Yeah,
And I guess, Bethany, if you can let Kevin know that we are still trying to get clarification on this. And we'll advise him as soon as we're sure if this is jurisdictional or not.
You know what? I can see it using Google Earth, or I'm sorry, Mass GIS. And it appears like it's non-jurisdictional. By there's a little wet, kind of like it must be a drainage ditch behind the neighbor, but it's quite a bit back to the left. If any of that lot, I mean, it might be like just touching the left corner, but I don't think so. Just given the size of these lots got to be 150 feet of frontage. I don't know. I don't think it's touching. I don't know. If it might be really close, really close.
You know, and there, and I have some, just concerned about it because there is a vernal pool back there. Between
Yeah,
the
there is.
back of those houses and Lee Street.
yeah, there's a fairly large vernal pool behind, especially, I want to say, I think lot 16 is actually 53. And most of that property is wetland. And when I researched that, they had gone before the vernal, not the vernal, the zoning board of appeals to put in an in-ground pool for a variance, and they were told that the original location they wanted, they couldn't because of the wetland. And basically, I guess it finally got put in more towards the back of the garage than behind the house.
All right, then I think we should hold off on this because of, I want to be sure.
Yeah, we should be sure.
All right, so we'll just keep this on the agenda until the next meeting. But Bethany, if you could send Kevin an email and let him know our progress on this.
Sure. I think he's issued the building permit, but he may have told the homeowner that there might be some conservation issues, so they should be aware that this is a pending situation.
Okay. I guess we could check for deed restrictions also. All right.
You know what? That thing's out. It's out. It's
I
not
hope
by
it
much.
is.
It's out though. It's
Okay.
out by very little, but it's out. We'll go check though.
All right. There's a few things for project monitoring. I guess one that Jeff made a call on was there was a call from the applicant about silt fence for brownstone and the removal of the invasive species, but I don't recall that we actually had erosion controls required there.
I just rewatched the video and I agree with you, Craig. I think the applicant had proposed just making sure there's no debris in the water. And
Mhm.
since they're already in the buffer zone, that was pretty much the extent of the erosion controls.
Yeah.
You know, I pretty much confirmed with Chris Carr that that the order of conditions are kind of boilerplate, and that there wasn't a need for a silt fence.
Yeah.
And basically, they're just clearing invasive species and burning the root system. So
Yeah. So I guess just moving forward, we need to be a little more careful in checking the conditions that we're sending out. But yeah, so they'll be good to go. The next one that I wanted to talk about was Bella Vista at the end of Capri Drive, where we received a call about the person working on his house in the backyard. He had some drainage issues there, and I guess the in-ground pool in the backyard had partially collapsed. But this is another one that, I mean, I have the 11 by 17s on it, but they're definitely not big enough to see for sure. I went out there and looked at it. The homeowner wasn't there. I know Jeff was there also.
yeah, I was there a couple of times.
But the flagging needs to be redone out there. They're very hard to see, especially now with all the growth that's on the trees. That, you know, but they're pretty old. They might not even be there.
You can't even see. There's one barely visible way into the woods, but you really can't see any other delineation marks there.
Is that an
And-
action that you want me to contact the homeowner about, or has that already been addressed?
Well, we discussed it with the homeowner out there, but I think it should be formally addressed about a delineation. And what's his face? Anthony, when he cleaned up that whole area, had seeded it all, and the new homeowner sprayed Roundup or something and killed all the grass, every bit of it. And they had staged some drainage piping and stuff. They were going to take it down from the pool to the left side of the house and run it down into the wetlands, which was the old crossover. But, you know, they then, I don't know, talked to DPW, and because, you know, I basically, the first time that Tony and I went out there, said, well, that's, you can't just run drainage into the wetlands. But they are going from about 3 feet outside the fence of the pool and taking it around the back of the pool, around to the right side of the house. And DPW gave them permission to cut a hole in the storm drain and have it empty into the storm drain there. But then he was talking about the sheeting water coming out of the wetlands down. And part of the problem, what caused the whole thing is, from what the homeowner was telling me, that the previous homeowner who put the in-ground pool in and put it too deep. So when they drain the pool for winter, that the water level, groundwater rises up and raises up the pool liner. So he had to replace the pool liner. And that would happen every year. So this is why they're going to this drainage system. But I told the homeowner that running the drain around behind the house on the other side, it's away from the wetlands. I have no problem with that. But anything else he wanted to do as far as taking care of the sheeting, he was talking about putting French drains all along the edge of the wetlands. I said, well, you've got to file an RDA with us for that, and pretty much tell us what your intentions are, what you like to do, and then we'll let you know what you can do. And he was talking about doing some kind of plantings and seeding wildflowers into the wetland area, which was that former crossover. And apparently this guy is a farmer, and, you know, he's concerned about, you know, protecting things. But, you know, I just told him, you know, it would be best if you filed an RDA with us and let us know what your intentions are, and then we can go from there, which he said he was going to do, but I don't think he's done any filing as of yet. The contractors had staged piping and other equipment right on the edge of the wetland, and they had their construction vehicles parked right on the edge of the wetland, and they had their construction vehicles parked in that grass area, which was the crossover, which I told them that, you know, you can't just park all your vehicles in there, because the whole point is that's wetlands. So they said they would, I said, you can use, you know, the owner's driveway if he's away all day. They said, well, they'll park it on his front lawn. So, I mean, whatever they want to do, but.
Sorry, what is the street address on that, Jeff?
I think it's 51 or 54 Capri. It's the old part of Bella Vista, which was developed by Kent Pecoy.
It's the one,
Up on the cul-de-sac.
yeah, it's the one on the cul-de-sac directly across the street from Mr. Plotkin's house, where we approved the French drain. I held the drawing up that I had, but what's actually shown on the drawing, and I doubt any of you could see it, but the limit of work line there was actually right near the curb on the street. And then it also, you know, it goes over to what appears to be somewhere between, you know, 15 and 20 feet away from the driveway. And then hooks around a little bit and then heads back towards the northwest. But again, with this smaller drawing that I have, it's really hard to see that.
Yeah.
I did have the homeowner contact me for the erosion plan that will have the wetlands marked out for Bella Vista Estates, because it also has his lot included on there.
Yeah.
So I emailed that to him. So he definitely should be aware of where the wetlands are as he's installing that drainage system.
I kind of pointed out to him, it was hard to remember because of Anthony Carnavale had cleaned up, taken out all the wood chips and a lot of the stumps and kind of graded it a little bit better there and seeded it all. But I told him, I said, you know, the wetlands went way closer to your house than what you think, you know, so unfortunately I didn't have a plan with me, and I think I only have the small plan Craig has, which it's very difficult to read. The print is just so small. Yeah.
And then that's where with this one, we did allow Anthony Carnavale to clean up some of the wood chips.
Yeah.
Because essentially they were more of the illegally dumped wood chips by the previous developer.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's why we allowed, you know, the cleanup to be done. And I believe Anthony also did some plantings in there, you know, of the correct mix.
Yeah.
But so I guess at this point, moving forward, we need to try and get the full-size plan that we can reference on this. And we should be sending the homeowner a letter instructing him to fill out a request for determination.
And that request is for the drainage system that he spoke to Jeff about, or is that for the plantings?
It's for everything that he intends or that he would like to do there. I pretty much discussed with him. You know, he was telling me, well, I want to do this, I want to do that. I said, well, you really need to file an RDA with us outlining what you propose to do, and then we can make a determination and let you know what you can do.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so yeah, if you could send the draft on that, Bethany, with just a note asking him to file an RDA.
Yep.
I guess for any proposed site work that could potentially be in the buffer zone. Because then there definitely is deed restrictions on this house. I'm pretty sure, because most of them did not have it, is I don't believe there was a certificate of compliance done for this yet.
He actually brought out his paperwork when he bought the house, and I showed him in there where the deed restriction was on there, that he had to come before the Conservation Commission. So he saw it, so he understands.
So he should be aware, but yes, so we should just confirm that with him. Site visits. I would say the next project monitoring that needs to be addressed and would be hidden ponds. There was a complaint or a potential violation called in by an abutter that was yesterday, I believe, correct?
Yes, I think it was yesterday.
Yeah, and what it is there were some trees cut down which appear to be inside the 25-foot limit of work line. I didn't go out there and see it, but I spoke to Jeff about that last night. But I guess if Jeff, you could update the commission on your discussions. Al Joyce was out there also.
Yeah, I got the phone, or got the email, and then I went out there and I saw the tree guys as they were cleaning up. They'd already cut the trees, and I don't know if they called Al or whatever, but he showed up within a few minutes after I was there. He had stated previously, when Tony and I went out on a previous call about him cutting trees on, I think it was lot 13. And then we went over and looked at 19 and 20 on the erosion controls, and based on that, and because Al was questioning us on that, and trees being cut out, within the buffer zone area. And he showed us permanent markers that had been installed, and he stated that he had hired our Levesque Associates, and those monuments were surveyed and put in by our Levesque Associates. And there was one over by between lot 15 and 16, and then one down by lot 14 and 15. These markers are quite a distance apart, and sometimes you can't see one from the other. Like there was one on 19, and there was another one over on 18, but it was behind a tree. So if you were standing at where the one on 19 is, you couldn't see the one on 18. There were about 4-inch round metal cylinders that are about 2 feet out of the ground that have been filled with cement and painted white. And when I went and looked at the trees, first the arborist came up to me and said, well, this one was already broken off and just down in the embankment. He said, all we did is just pick it out. And he said, I just cut the bottom part of the stump down. There was a very large pine stump that was probably about, I want to say a good 18 inches in diameter. There was a tree that was just cut. And there was another one right next to, I don't know if it was an oak or a maple tree, probably an oak tree. He said, oh, it was all entangled up there. And that was cut, and that was probably about, I want to say somewhere around 8 inches or 10 inches in diameter. And in surveying that, they were, one was probably 10 feet from where it just sheer dropped down into the quarry. And the other one was maybe somewhere between 10 and 15 feet away. And Al was saying, well, it's just a straight line between these two markers, and that's okay. I said, Al, it's not a straight line between markers. I said, it's a 25-foot buffer. I said that to him about 3 times. And he says, well, it's just a straight line. You can see it on the plan. Unfortunately, I didn't have a plan with me. I said I would have to check it, but I said, it's clearly, you were told on all lots, it's a 25-foot buffer zone, period. Go ahead, Greg.
If I could comment on that, I don't know if people can see it, but in that paragraph right there, that is on Al's drawing, you know, which covers a bunch of stuff. And he actually calls out lots 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20. Limit of work line located a minimum of 25 feet from wetland line. No work of any kind, including grading, tree removal, or establishment of a lawn is allowed in the area between the limit of work line and the wetland line. So he's actually stating it on his own drawing.
Yeah,
And,
and
you know, and we've been over this before with Al about cutting trees, and he has asked permission to cut down other ones. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, so I went out there a few hours ago with my forestry tape, and I got down there on the hill and laid it out, and those things are spot on. Those wattles are 25 feet, all right? And all those trees were outside the 25 foot. All right, there was one that was on 25. It was still outside though, given the water line is what it is, but those wattles are at about 26 feet. All right, the water's probably down by a foot. So all those trees that were cut, if Jeff had got down there with the tape, he would have found that they were spot on outside. Because I went down there with the tape and did it. And if you guys want to go out there and do a site visit to confirm what I'm telling you, let's go.
I guess we need to do that then. Because that's, from what Jeff's saying, that's contradicting from what Al's saying with the straight line.
Those things are generally installed by a surveyor, right? So they're usually spot on, and they're spot on. And if anything, those wattles, you know, you can use them as probably a true 25 feet, but they're probably 26 feet now, maybe 27, because, you know, the water's probably lower than normal. But
Definitely is. We're in a drought.
right. There's one tree that's over the wattle in that picture, and given my tape measure, that's at 25.5 feet. Because
Okay.
I thought the same thing. I went over there, I looked, and I got my tape out, and it's spot on. They are spot on. Those surveyors did a good job. Those wattles are right where they need to be. And
Well,
those trees are all outside those wattles, except for one that I guess he said he had issues with. Isn't that what you said, Jeff? You said he had issues with one?
well, the arborist said there was, which was the tree closest to lot 16. He said the top was broken off and down. And he said all they did is just lift it out, and then he just cut the bottom part down to a low stump close to the ground. He said it was nothing they cut. It was already, you know, broken off, I guess, storm or whatever.
Yeah, those.
But that tree was within the limit of work line, right? That tree was within the 25-foot buffer zone. The one
Well-
you're talking about, Jeff?
Well, I didn't see it because they'd already taken it out, but he said it had fallen down, and it was partly down the bank into the quarry area.
But did you see the stump? Was the stump in the?
Well, I saw the stump. I didn't measure anything, but it, you know, it just, I didn't walk over and go down the embankment just because it was such a steep drop. And there were no identifiable delineation flags anywhere. And the wattles per se were non-existent. They were all in a pile that the arborist had bunched up in a pile. down towards lot 14. And he said they just did that to get them out of the way. And they said there was a tree down over or something, over one of them or something, so. But, you know, basically the wattles were not even in place when I was there.
So
The wattles were there. I was just there.
this
The
is
wattles were
15
there with the
When
tree
they
cutting.
had cut the trees, the wattles had all been taken and they were in a pile down by lot 14.
When were you there, Jeff?
I was there at around 9 o'clock yesterday morning.
And so today, when you went, Tom, you said the wattles were put in place? Oh, you're muted, Tom, sorry.
You're on mute.
Oh, thank you. Those wattles, the ones that were there by the tree cutting, have been there for months by my estimation. You can see they're set in there and doing their thing, and you can tell just by looking at them. There's, as I said, they're right at 26 feet. There's one tree that's beyond inside, but it's probably at 25 feet 6 inches
How do you
from the
measure
water
that?
line.
How do you measure that down an embankment?
I use a forestry tape, all right? And I went down the embankment and got it right on the water line. Actually, I furred it off the water line, so it wasn't, whatever I measured, the distance would have been greater. And then I walked up the embankment and laid the thing flat, and those wattles were spot on, 26 feet.
Okay.
From where I measured. And we'll all go out there. I mean, the proof
Yeah,
is in
I'm
the
gonna say,
pudding.
when do we want to go? We talked about it enough, I guess. Want to go tomorrow afternoon? After 5:30-ish?
I can do that.
Works for
I'm
me.
good.
Oh, I actually can't tomorrow, no. Tomorrow's golf league day.
Oh, yeah.
Friday? I know it's Friday, but better than doing it on the weekend, maybe.
Yeah, I can do it Friday, no problem. It's supposed to rain like crazy tomorrow too, so thunderstorms.
Oh, great.
Jeff, can you send an email Friday afternoon to confirm? Because I can
Yes.
do it,
Yeah.
but I may forget. Thank you.
All right, so we want to shoot for Friday at 5:30?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, perfect. I think I could be missing something on project monitoring, but did anybody have anything else? The only one I had was, I didn't get to see it when it happened, but the Columbia Gas, that piping thing that they did on Elm Street looks good. I did drive by and take a look at that.
I was there the day they started and I looked and they had all the erosion controls in on both sides of the river there, and everything looked good. And they told me exactly what they were doing. It was kind of a traffic nightmare, but
Yeah.
and I wanted to get back the next day and see how that thing drilled down underneath, but I had some other things going on. I didn't get there.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen that too.
Craig, sorry. What about lot 540 Pondview? That's on the agenda.
Oh, yep. I actually I'd sent a couple emails out to Bill LaPlante, and forwarded it to the homeowner. I forget their name off the top of my head, but I actually found the one that was sent by Rob Levesque, which was probably a year and a half, 2 years ago, that the current homeowners, I believe, got also, saying that a new NOI needed to be filed. I spoke with Bill LaPlante about it yesterday, and I pretty much told him, because it is exactly the same, we've seen that from site visits out there, that nothing has changed from the original plan. But I did tell him it's really a formality that they can use the old plans, but they need to file a notice of intent. And, and we need to have a public hearing, and there needs to be a butter notification and everything. And so Bill was going to get with the homeowners today and get that process going. But so we should be moving forward with that. Thank you for reminding me of that, Francis.
No problem.
Pond view.
Oh, sorry, I should let everybody know. I'm taking notes on the project monitoring.
Fantastic.
Mhm.
How you doing with putting stuff in the Excel sheet?
I don't see how it's gonna fit. I'm still trying to figure out how to put it in there. Because, you know, all these notes will not fit in that chart without creating, so I'm thinking of doing like an attachment, an addendum to the chart.
Mhm.
We'll see. I'm gonna propose something to Bethany and see what we can work out.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You
Anything else, project monitoring? Okay.
The only other thing, I guess is kind of like project monitoring. Although I don't know if it should have been an agenda item, was this letter received at 2 something this afternoon from Al Joyce about the enforcement order on 19 and 20.
Yeah, I mean, it was very late today. And that's where, yeah, I haven't read it yet. I saw it, I printed it out at work, but I haven't read it yet.
Okay.
So I mean, we definitely need to have it on for the next agenda.
But I would recommend that we send Mr. Joyce a letter just saying that if he's going to do these things, and this is not the first time that this has happened, that he at least have them in by Friday before the meeting so that Bethany can get them on the agenda. So it's not like an hour or two before the meeting we're getting this stuff, because not everybody has a chance to read this.
Yeah.
I
Essentially,
believe Al Joyce is in the audience. So Al, if you're there, hopefully you're taking note of these comments.
Thank you. But so, yeah, we'll put it on there for next week. I mean, and that is the lot that we have an enforcement order on. And I went there and I saw it, and yes, there's been some hydro seeding done, and he sent pictures that it's starting to take root, and that sort of thing. But yes, we'll have that on the agenda for next meeting. Okay. Next item on the agenda was policies and procedures for the commission. At this point, I didn't have anything to bring up on that other than the next item that was listed.
Well, I do.
Go ahead.
I went through our Conservation Commission current regulation for the town under 10, and it kind of corresponds with advertising, but I just want to go through this and see what you all have to say for an opinion. Basically, under section D, this is chapter 10, 10.012. Under D, applications and permits, applications for permits and requests for determinations. And it just goes about written applications shall be filed with the commission. And, you know, with plans, appropriate plans and description and so forth. However, it doesn't state anything in here about notices or hearings for an RDA. Under section E, it says notice and hearings. And then any person filing a notice of intent with the commission shall complete the filing in accordance with 310 CMR. And then at the last sentence in the second paragraph, it says, the commission shall provide written notice of the hearing at the expense of the applicant 5 working days prior to the hearing in a newspaper of general circulation in the community. Okay, so it's basically saying that the commission will provide the hearing or provide the notice. Then you go on to, let's see, the next paragraph, which continues on the next page. And this goes to the, more or less speaks to the verbiage, okay? And it just says the notice to a butter shall enclose a copy of the notice of intent with the plans, or shall state where copies may be examined and obtained by abutters free of charge. And basically, I can't see anybody filing a notice of intent, sending a complete copy of notice of intent to abutters, because the expense on that would be humongous. So I would think that the notice would state that there's a notice of intent, and give the date and time and place, and where an abutter could view or obtain a copy, without so much verbiage that we're adding in now to these advertisements, these legal notices, which are extremely costly because the number of lines, and that's how the papers charge, is by lines. To be more customer friendly and cut down the cost to someone filing a notice of intent, as far as the legal notices. I'd
think that
just like to hear what other people have to say about that.
I would think that we probably need to have them on, there's a notice of intent. We probably need to have the plans posted on the conservation webpage and
Well,
refer people to there, as opposed to the old ones that did say they could come in town and look at them.
right.
But they could pay for a copy if they wanted to take them, but obviously they couldn't take everything if they wanted to. But yeah, moving forward, and I think we need to do have that. But regarding your comment about the request for determination, if you go farther, 10.05, paragraph B talks about the posting for an RDA. That was the one we read about it, you know, that we were questioning whether the commission has to do it or if the applicant could do it. And my interpretation of that was the applicant had to do it. But so those are my comments on that.
Where was that again?
10.05, paragraph B. In the latest book we have, it's page 351, it says.
Is it? That's not in the town. That's in the 310 CMR.
Yeah. Oh, I thought that's what you were in.
No, this is the town
Oh,
general bylaws.
okay.
And basically, that's what, if anybody goes onto the town website, that's what they're going to see.
You know, Jeff, I'm a visual guy. I need to
I do too.
I need to read what you're saying. I mean, I can follow along what you're saying, but I just need to see it in black and white and digest it.
Yeah, you could just go on to the town website, and it's just the town bylaws. You go under section 10, which is the first section, which is Conservation Commission.
Oh, I'm sorry. I would like to put that on the next meeting's agenda so that I can read over everything and think about it.
Yeah,
But
Absolutely.
you're proposing changes in that, right?
I'm just making comments
Okay,
and making you aware of what this says so that, as a discussion.
okay,
And, we can discuss this further at the next meeting.
okay.
I just wanted to add, for COVID, we changed the legal notice. So it used to have people come downtown if they wanted to look at the plans. And since the town hall is still closed, I have the office phone number, and people can call and request electronic version of the plans. And that's been working out really well. We haven't had any complaints from the public. Basically, they call, I call them back, I get their email, I send them the whole file. And if they have any questions, I walk them through it. So that's been working out really well. We haven't had any issues with that at all.
Well, that's good, because that was another point I was going to bring up. Currently, no one can get into the town hall to view anything.
Mm.
So there have been people actually asking for them, Bethany?
We've had a couple people, usually they just want to make sure there's no work happening on their own property, which of course there never is unless they are the applicant.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Would it be difficult to post it on the conservation webpage?
That's something we've been working towards, and it's something we would have to do in collaboration with the IT department. So that's a conversation I could take up with the IT director. I know that school is starting, so they might be a little swamped right now, but I'm happy to send out an email and set up a meeting.
Okay. And I guess Jeff brought that up. We were discussing a while ago too about the retaining the services of the town lawyer to have him look at this issue with the certificate of compliance that started with 53 Old Farm. After a little bit of research and input, if you look at the town bylaws, section 5.04, clearly states that we are allowed to do it. So I did send Mary McNally, the town manager, an email requesting permission to move forward with that. And I'll keep everybody posted as soon as I hear something on that. Anything else under policies and procedures, or we just move on to the Republican reminder issue?
Yep, that's fine.
Bethany, do you have something for us on that?
I did email out a document, but I can quickly review it. Let me just pull it up here. So I'll just go over, I'll do each one. So the Republican, they have flexible submittal deadlines. Their deadline is 3 business days in advance of the publication date. The reminder has a strict submittal deadline. That would be Tuesdays at 9 a.m. for a publication date of the following Thursday. Legal notice publications for the Republican are daily. Thursday is the most expensive date for publications. I didn't realize this until today, and we have had our conservation legal notices routinely published on Thursday, so that's something I can change starting today. The reminder has a legal notice publications exclusively on Thursdays. They both have legal advertisements available for viewing online, which is lovely. And the Republican circulation reaches all of Western Massachusetts. The reminder is reaches local communities around East Long Meadow. The Republican is more expensive and the reminder is less expensive. So those are the main differences. I am open to going to the reminder and seeing how that goes. I just wanted to make sure everyone's aware of the strict deadlines because I expect some pushback from applicants in regards to that.
When you said Tuesday for the following Thursday,
Correct.
if you get it in by Tuesday, it's in the reminder of the same week, or am I mistaken?
No, it would be the next week.
Oh, that is long.
Yes, it's
That
much longer.
that was not the information that Kim had given me when I checked on it a while ago. if it's in by 9 o'clock on Tuesday morning, it will appear in that Thursday's edition.
Oh, like in 2 days?
Yes.
Okay, that would be great. I will, I'll double check with her tomorrow because I was under the impression that it had a whole week of a
No,
waiting
no,
time.
it's, if you have it into the reminder office by 9 o'clock on Tuesday, they go to publish on Tuesday afternoon, and then they print on Wednesday, and then the reminder is distributed on Thursday. And
Okay,
it would be in that, it would be in that
Great.
Thursday's edition.
Yeah, that's great.
And my only other comment, I understand the Republican goes around Western Massachusetts, but the people that we need to have informed, for the most part, are the residents of East Long Meadow, even though surrounding towns do also get the East Long Meadow one. But the circulation of the reminder in East Long Meadow, I forget exactly what it was, but it was 5 or 6 times as many people as the circulation of the Springfield Republican in town. Essentially, the reminder goes to every residence in East Long Meadow. And from the numbers I got before when we were discussing this, more than half of the Springfield newspapers that get delivered to East Long Meadow are going to convenience stores. Less than half actually go to a residence.
Craig, we do have several streets in East Long Meadow who have Springfield mailing addresses. So that it's about, I just send out a bunch of letters to them for another project, but we do have at least 100 addresses that are Springfield addresses, but physically they are in East Long Meadow. So I'm not sure if that would influence it at all.
Well, I remember the numbers that Craig researched previously. It was like 1,200 and I think 67 for East Long Meadow, which included what's dropped off at convenience stores. And the reminder was over 6,000, it was close to 7,000 circulation. So it's like, 5 to 1. And you're going to reach far more people with the reminder than you are the Republican.
I don't have a problem switching over to that. I just want to make sure I have the commission's support. If there's any pushback for whatever reason from developers or applicants, I want to make sure I can count on you guys to back up that decision, which it sounds like you're in.
No problem. Yep. I think for the most part, they'd be happier because all I've heard is complaints that the Springfield Republican is 2, 3, 4 times as much money as the reminder was.
And I'm one of those complainers. When I had to spend for a modification to go before the planning board, because it was published in the Republican, over $840 for 2 ads.
Wow.
Totally ridiculous.
And
It probably would have been a third of that in the reminder.
and that's where I believe we have had a couple of people that decided not to file a request for determination for something that was a very small item, but
Yep.
and they got to shell out $400 to put an ad in the Springfield paper.
Yeah.
So tomorrow I will give Kim a call and just verify that for my own peace of mind. And then I'll just confirm with the commission what she says, and we can move forward with publishing in the reminder.
Sounds good to me.
One more comment is that even though those people have Springfield addresses and live in East Long Meadow, the reminder is a free newspaper and it's available at stores and different places. So a lot of people just pick it up as they go.
Okay,
Or
great.
check it online,
All righty. Anybody have anything else? No. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second,
All right. Moving on to the roll call vote. Francis,
Aye.
Jeff,
aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Oh, and I am an aye also. Thank you all for coming. Thank you, Janie. Thank you, Bethany.
Yes, thanks, everybody.
Aye.
Good
See you
evening.
Friday.
Good night.